whoa, whoa, whoa. Incredible. Whoa. It drives like a supercar. It has the vibe of Lotus Emea, maybe Porsche Taycan, even oversized Audi TT. My coworker told me that this car doesn't sell great in China, and I was very puzzled. Why? Now I found 4 reasons which I want to share with you guys. Today I brought you the best performing and the most fun to drive cars in this segment within this price range. Lynk Co Z10. Generally speaking, today is heavily rainy, so we can't drive fast, but I think we still feel quite confident driving around. This car makes lots of noises. It reminds me Zeekr. Every time something is a dead zone, it will make noise. You can turn it off, of course, but then you don't really have a repeater here. So you cannot really see the dead zone monitor. So it's kind of better to keep it up. But I think the noise can be a little bit less invasive, a bit softer. The first time I sat in this car, I felt the steering wheel is a little bit weird shape because I usually do one-hand driving. So I either hold here or on the top. But in this steering wheel, it's a little bit hard to do one-hand driving because if I need to use the blinker, I have to go lower here on this side. And then I will bump some buttons because these buttons are coming out. But after driving for 2 days, I kind of get used to it. And I feel that it's even better than others. So it's just a habit, I think, similar to Yoke from Tesla. Some people love it, some people hate it. I quite like this line moving when we are turning left and right. It's like visual effect. Looks a little bit cheap in the beginning, but the more I drive it, the more I like it. Here we have this 3D mode pop up every time when we are turning in some tight place. It's quite useful for shopping mall, but I don't see the point for it on the public road. I think on the public road there should be a repeater to show me my dead zone, and not the 3D or the bird's eye view, definitely. Also, one more thing I want to mention about this car is this huge, really huge panoramic rooftop. It is incredible size for sedan, but it lacks one small function, the auto dim. If it can be, for example, more transparent in the rainy days or like at night, then you can see the stars, you can see the sky. But daytime, you can dim it, make it darker. Without it, it's still fine. I'm not complaining, but I think that this is some small thing which this car can add to be perfect car. HUD is quite good, I like it. It's very large and gives you lots of information. It can be AR, it can be LiDAR information or very simple one. So I quite love it. What is missing here is the e-mirror because the window behind is quite small and it's a little bit uplift. Parking cameras are incredible. Like when you park, you see everything very clearly. But I just don't understand why couldn't they add it here. I think the mirror also can be a little bit bigger. I cannot see even quarter of my face here. Is my face that big or the mirror that small? Normally, I don't talk much about the design of the car because I think it's a little bit subjective. However, this car is just screaming sport, sport, sport. The overall vibe of this car is Lotus Emea, for me personally. Front daylights, where Lynk Co went with a little bit extension here, I wouldn't add it. I think without it, it would look much better. Maybe somebody would love it. The profile of the car, it sits very low. The ear suspension can lower the car this low. Look at the overall profile of the car. The back, the side, the front, everything looks so good, so sporty. Look at the ear wing here. It gives this sporty feeling from any side you look at it. However, some parts of the exterior I am not a big fan of. Look at this piece here. Plastic with some lines. It reminds me a little bit of a solar battery, but it's not solar battery. Why to make it look like one? Here in front there is a typical Lynk Co light bar. I never liked it. I feel it's cool for kids to play. Maybe in the evening, it has different colors, different animation, but it's a sport car. Sport car shouldn't have this toy design, at least to me. I'm a big fan of the big rims, oversized rims, and a low tire profile. This car seems perfect. If the rim is a little bit bigger, it would be even better. Overall feeling when I sit here is pretty good. As a foreigner, I love this. It's simple, it's not overloaded with screens as many other Chinese cars do recently. I like how this car looks inside, and I feel it doesn't need to add anything extra. It's just perfect how it is. Sitting position is quite comfortable. There's extension of the cushion, so even for me, it feels quite all right. However, the seat is not soft and cushy. It's more on the stiff side, pretty stiff side, with a very good side support, but it's not active side support like Xiaomi SU7 has. Let's move to the back seat. Did you hear this sound? It doesn't sound good. It's like very similar sound to Tesla. I really don't like this sound. All Galaxy cars sound similar. Half of Lynk & Co sound like this, except the Lynk & Co 900 that sound differently. However, when you close the door gently, it has the support and it will suck in the door very quietly. Then it's fine. Look at my sitting position, guys. I'm like floating. It's so much gap for my legs. Look, and I don't really I have plenty of space, right? The space-wise, it's a really good car. But sitting here, I start to understand why Chinese people don't really buy this car well. I think one of the reasons is lack of comfort in this car. However, you know, for me, as a foreigner, European-born foreigner, I love it. I feel that you can sacrifice a little bit of comfort in order to get sporty feeling. You cannot get a sport car with a cushy, soft sofa behind. It's just impossible. It's not how it works. I tried BMW Z3, Z4. I tried Toyota 86. I tried Subaru BRZ. I cannot really fit in comfortably. A lot of people in Europe or in US are quite tall. So for people like us, the comfort also is important, but it's not a comfort where Chinese people think of it, like sofa, fridge, and TV. We need a good sporty drive. I want to enjoy what I drive, right? This is where the value of the car is coming from, right? Where you really enjoy the driving. One more reason I think Chinese people don't like this car is because of the size. This is more than 5 meters long sedan with more than 3 meters of wheelbase. So it does sound like a family car if you really think of the size. However, when you look at this car, it's not a family sedan. So it's stiff, but it's big. It drives like a sport car, but it looks by the size as a family one. Maybe it's a little bit of disconnection between the size and the purpose of the car. That might be another reason. And I just thought about the third reason, the brand itself, guys. Lynk & Co position as a brand for young people with unique and bright, outstanding products. Lynk & Co originally was making the gasoline cars. Then they moved to plug-in hybrids, which is also connected to the gasoline, right? And then this one of the models of pure EV before the merge with Zeekr and creating the Zeekr group. So it's kind of standing out of the whole brand. And guys, there is one more reason number 4. I want to share it with you, but in the other place, where it will be parked next to its smaller brother. This car faces severe competition on the market. On one side, you have a smaller brother, Galaxy E8, which is cheaper and recently got a plug-in version, so you have more options for similar architecture. And on the other hand, you have Xiaomi, which is a little bit more expensive, but has very big fan group. When people consider what to buy within this price, they might think that E8 is much softer and much more family-oriented with a similar size. And on the other hand, if you really want something very sporty, you can go for Xiaomi. However, talking about myself as a foreigner, if I am to buy this car, I would definitely get one. And I would get this particular trim, which is more expensive one. It's 282,000 RMB, which is slightly below $40,000. First of all, this is 2 motors and this is 800 watt architecture. Nowadays, companies are moving to already 1 megawatt, BYD and Geely Group. So 400 volt architecture doesn't really give you that much of the future proofing. And also, I personally think that for this design, the car should be quick. If you buy a cheaper trim, you would have 6 seconds 0 to 100, which is more than enough for the Shanghai road or any other country's road. But it doesn't give you this hypercar speed which this trim gives. It's only 3.5 seconds 0 to 100. Plus you have 21-inch rims and 4 pistons Continental bright orange calipers in front, which gives again this feeling of a very sporty and very luxurious car. For me personally, this is an option. Let me know in the comments which one would you buy if you are to buy one.